guess I'll just start, and then if people come in, that's fine, because I just want to start by giving some background about sort of why we have this tool and what it is and what's different from what we have right now. So right now, as you guys probably know, we have the online catalog, which is right up here, that we use to search books, DVDs, equipment, sort of a lot of the physical items, and then some of the ebooks and other electronic materials. And then we have separate article databases to find articles. And the article databases are made by database vendors who create platforms to use to search the materials. And then the database vendors work with publishers to create collections of materials, so articles, sometimes books, images, other things like that. They create collections that they then put that search platform over that you can use to search it. So we have, under our article databases page, we have hundreds, right, of databases here. And you might know that we have them divided by certain subjects. So this drop-down gives you a list of all the different subjects that we have databases for. And it's a lot. So if you want articles, yeah, go ahead.
If you click on this holdings, it'll tell you how many different databases we really have.
Yeah, so we have almost 300 databases.
Yeah.
So that is a lot. And even if you, so you guys are education psychology. Let's go on the psychology, or education or psychology, would you? Education? Okay. Okay, so now we have just the databases that cover education, but of course it's still a whole bunch. And if you want to find materials, especially for you guys when you have to write dissertations and you want like everything, it's a lot of work to search through all of the different databases. So what this new tool does, the EBSCO Discovery Service, is it takes the catalog and almost all of our article databases, and we have a couple oddball databases like a film database, an audiobook database, or do we still have that? Yeah, okay. So it takes all of those things and puts it in sort of in one place so that you can search it from one search box, okay? So that's why we, what's different and what's why we sort of have this new tool. Now, let me just start by, how many of you are familiar with Academic Search Complete? You probably will be when you see it too. Does this look familiar? Yeah, so this is an EBSCO database. So EBSCO, the company, has made this platform used to search the collections of materials that it's put together. So when you're in Academic Search Complete, you can even choose the particular EBSCO databases that you want to check, and there's a whole bunch here that we have access to. And you can do a search, like let's do climate change. And you'll get a bunch of results. In EBSCO databases, on the left-hand side, this might be familiar to you, you'll have all these limits. Down the middle, you get the articles. Okay, so this should be pretty familiar to you. You've probably searched this before. The reason why I'm showing you this is because EDS is going to look almost exactly the same as this. So right now, it's going to change probably when we get the tool a little bit more, I don't know, refined. But right now, if you go to article databases, it's the first link right here. So EDS, IUP Libraries, EBSCO Discovery. And that's on the handout that I gave you, that has the little screenshots so you know how to get to it. So this is what the home page looks like for EDS. And if I do a search, climate change, we'll get a page that looks very similar to what we just looked at in Academic Search Complete. So we have the articles down the middle, or articles, ebooks, what else do we have? Maybe films. These are all ebooks. We have the content in the middle, then you have the limiters on the left-hand side. So in this case, this search brought up like 500,000 results because we're searching everything. Jump in if I'm missing anything too, Joanne. EBSCO Discovery Service searches the search terms that you enter as if there is an and between the terms. Okay. So yeah, so it'll basically bring you back content that mentions both of those terms somewhere in the records. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be side by side though. If you want them to be side by side, you need to use quotes like that. And that will bring you back results where that's searched as a phrase. Yeah?
For the advanced search options, with truncation and things like that, is this, because I usually do and or not
Yeah.
when you're doing advanced searches. Is truncation everything the same with this as well?
It will be the same as the other EBSCO databases. So like with truncation, if you use an asterisk, it'll bring you back all of the different various endings to a word. So yeah.
And there's a help screen at the top, I believe. There's a place for help.
Yeah.
If you go in there, it will talk about truncation. It will talk about the different ways to get more information. So chances are, most times you're going to come in here and you're going to use just the basic search. But if you think you need to refine it more, I would use the help screen, because even if we would go through all of them now, you're not going to remember them until you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So up there where it says help, I would go.
Yeah. This right in the far right corner, that's the help thing right there. So this is what you're talking about, right? With the, like, if you wanted to search psychologist, psychology, psychological, etc.
Yeah, if I'm doing advanced search and doing different fields and or not.
Yeah, so this would, and in this case, this would bring you back materials that mention any word that begins with that psychologic.
Now, one thing on this screen, if you notice, it begins by doing a keyword search, because that's what it defaults to. See the radio button besides keyword? But you could change that to limit it to just the title or just the author.
So if you're looking for a particular book or something, you could
or
just
a
do...
particular author
Right.
or a famous person in the field, you want to see what's out there.
Which is
That
pretty
would be
nice,
neat.
because before, of course, you can search for all the books that somebody has written, and then you can search the databases for all the articles that person's written. But now, if you just do in EDS, if you just click the author button and then type in their name, you get all of those things at once. So anyway, back to this test search here. So if I use the phrase, the quotations to make it to search climate change as a phrase, then we had more like 385, which is a little bit better than 500,000 results. But we have lots of different limiters on the left-hand side that you can use to refine your search. And with this tool, that's very crucial because you're searching so much content that you need to have these different areas where you can define exactly what it is that you're looking for. So are you looking for academic journals? Are you willing to accept some news publications? Or maybe you're just looking at books. Let me show you. I just went through that real quick. Maybe, I hope it doesn't go back. Does it? Okay. Yeah, okay. So each of these limiters, this first one, the source type, is just automatically open so you can see the different source types that cover the topics climate change. If you want to see all of them, you'd click this show more, and then it'll bring up this box with all the different types of materials. So if you were looking just for books, you can click that box. And I think this actually has books and ebooks, even though there's a separate one. Because each time I click both of them, it kind of brings back the same.
And if you notice, it defaults to the number, the count.
Right.
So the one with the most count, the most hits, is the academic journal, I guess. Yes.
So rather than it being sort of in an alphabetical list, it's showing you that academic journals, which has the most articles on climate change, is going to be the first one there.
And there aren't that many in here, but some of them will give you, like if you look at all the databases that are in here, you're going to have many. So you might want to change it to name up there, and then it will put it in alphabetical order. So if you're looking for a particular source, it's easier to find. It's not only by the number of hits that you're getting on it. The number of hits, though, gives you an idea where you can find the information that you might be searching for. I mean, if there's only one biography, you may not want to go there.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind when you get it. In any of those, it'll work the same way in any of those. And they call those facets on the side.
Yeah, so let me just, I'll click the one for academic journals, because that'll give us some more things to play with. And of course, you have this box to check for peer-reviewed journals if that's what you need. And then these are the other facets, like Joanne said, on the left-hand side, and they expand if you click the down arrow. So you can refine by a subject heading. So if you're looking at a particular, subject, I guess, they'll give you some more specific hits. You can do language. And then the nice thing is that if you want to refine your search to a particular database, you can do that with this limit on the left-hand side. And it gives you all the databases that cover this topic, and then you can choose which ones you want, because you might not need, you know, a Medline article on climate change. I don't know, you might, but you might want to just look at like the newspaper articles on this, and in that case you can check the box for the databases that would have newspaper articles on the topic. And again, you can do it, it's organized by hit count, but you can also do it by name. So that might be easier way for you to look at the list.
I will say at this point, since we're looking at the databases that are not included here are, at least one group of them is anything from ProQuest. That has to do with a business model. There's EBSCO and there's ProQuest. They're two big conglomerates out there working with databases, two big vendors, and they're not talking to each other right now. This is an EBSCO one, so everything EBSCO is in here, everything from the partners of EBSCO is in here. Anybody who's partnering with ProQuest might not be there. So if you find something, or you knew you found it in a database, you might check the databases that we have, and maybe they're not in here right now. And we'll work on that to try to get that information out to you. But again, Kelly said at the beginning, it's almost everything we have. Not everything, because everything can't be in this type of database. If we had the ProQuest one, which is called Summon, it would be the same thing, because EBSCO's not giving them their data. Yeah.
And now I have, where you have the ProQuest dissertations and theses on the right-hand column, I do have options to click on those, and will that take me to those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's our workaround that Joanne
Yes.
did for us, so that we
Okay.
can put that in the EDS tool.
Yeah.
So for ProQuest dissertations, because that's a big one. So
Yeah.
that's sort of our workaround to be able to access those things from this tool.
And I'm really surprised that there's no dissertation or thesis on.
I know, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Oh, you know what it is? It's because I checked academic journals, probably.
Okay, that's why, because there would be no academic journals and
Yeah.
theses and dissertations. So if this doesn't work right for you, come and see the librarian, because we may be able to define what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing the same thing with the person at EBSCO who's helping us get it in shape for everyone. And I'll say, this isn't working right. And she says, oh yes it is. And then she explains why, and then it makes sense.
It's because
So-
they put in so many different little
Yeah.
tools in these things that, you know, we're sort of aware of a lot of the things that are happening here, but there's so much stuff that sometimes you forget or you miss something. So that's what we're here for, really.
And if you notice the limiters that Kelly put in, one of them is we default to everything in the library collection. That library collection could be anything that we can get freely or anything that we pay for, but that you guys should have immediate access to. So that's what we're defaulting to. And then Kelly limited it to academic journals. Notice the hits up there, 193,000 plus.
Mm-hmm.
If you click on the X, or were you going to do something else with
No,
that?
I can.
Click on the X for academic journals now. That takes them out of there, so that number should go up again.
Right.
So if you want to search the whole wide world that's available through this service, you take off available in library collection, and all of a sudden that number is going to go up, because it's going to give you hits on broader subjects or broader databases, or a book that might be available somewhere else, but you have to get it on interlibrary loan. But if you're a graduate student, you don't want to limit yourself to what we just have. You want to be able to make it broader.
Right. So that's actually kind of a nice thing that a nice tool that this offers, because there are a lot of situations for you all that you're going to want to search, you know, almost a wider group of materials out
Or
there.
if you're doing research, you want to see almost everything out there. And I'm still going to use that almost everything, because there is no place in the world, not even Google, that gets you everything. So you have to search in many different places when you're doing research, when you're working on your theses or whatever. But this is a good place to start, because it gives you an idea where to search.
So now I'll just open up an article so you guys can see what it looks like. It's going to look, again, it's going to look exactly like it would in Academic Search Complete or another EBSCO database. So, you know, you have the title, and then it gives you information about the article, so the authors, where it's coming from, the subjects that are assigned to it, an abstract. And then if we have the full text, there would be a link to the full text here. If there isn't full text to the article immediately on the screen here, that's when you would click this Check 360 link for more information. And then that will bring you to a page where you can see whether we have the full text access. So you have on the right-hand side these tools, which are pretty useful. I think I would encourage you guys to create accounts with EBSCO, because the benefit of that is that you can create folders on here and save materials in one place. And you can also share these folders if you're working with other people, which is pretty helpful.
And right now, you're not logged in, Kelly?
No, I'm not.
So if you add to the folder now, that folder will exist only until you log off.
Right.
So that if you did a lot of work and you didn't have a My EBSCO host, you would lose it when you left.
Right, so you might want to try that. Now, you mentioned the EndNote stuff, so in order to sort of download this citation to EndNote, you'd use the export button on the right here. So if you click that, it'll give you a bunch of options, but really the first one is what we're looking for. And if you say save and you have EndNote on your computer, you can open it that way. I don't know if EndNote's on this computer though. Oh, it is.
Oh,
Okay.
it's 7 too.
Cool.
Perfectly. And now I was surprised.
I don't think
Yeah.
we have any libraries on there, but yeah, so that would be, and this is nice because it's very easy.
The door's up.
Yeah. Hello. Oh,
Hi, Chris.
Sorry.
No problem.
So the EDS is nice too, I think, because in some of our databases, we don't have an easy, quick way to check whether we have the full text of an article if it's not available in whatever database you're searching. But through EBSCO, we have this nice 360 link checker. So if you have an article like this, where the full text isn't immediately available, you can just click this link and it will tell you whether we have electronic holdings for it or not. In this case, we do, and you just click the article link here and it'll take you to the article. So it's a little bit more complicated when you don't have that option, so I think that's pretty nice. I always like this function that EBSCO has, this find similar results, because if you find a really, really good article that's perfect for your research and you want to find more like that, that's exactly what this is for. And you just click that and it'll find other articles that are similar based on the keywords and the subject terms used in the article record.
Now, is that an EBSCO host or is that in this EBSCO Discovery Service?
So EBSCO is a database vendor, I guess would be the official term. So they create this sort of search platform. That's what they do. Now they have collections of materials that they put in there, and then that search platform that they have searches of stuff. So EBSCO Discovery Service is one of their tools. So that's what this is, but does that make sense? It's kind of,
I think when you clicked on that, then you probably went into EBSCO host itself versus looking at everything.
You know, I don't know if you need this much detail. When you're an EBSCO host, though, you're searching the platform. When you're an EDS, the platform looks very similar, but it has additional functionality like the similar services. And what the platform does is it gathers all the information from EBSCO and any of their other partners, and it ingests it into one huge index. So that's why you can search the catalog and everything else that's not necessarily EBSCO. So it's broader. It searches more things than what you can search in EBSCO.
Does it search all of the subscriptions that we purchase?
Unfortunately, no. Like I said, there is no service out there that will do that right now because the vendors are not giving the permissions.
it's all about who has access to what
Right.
content or who has
But
rights
it's
to what
searching
content.
much more than if you just went into EBSCO host and chose all the databases in EBSCO host, because you're missing out on so
Yeah,
much more.
it's almost everything. It's a vast majority of our materials.
Oh,
With the
Yeah.
exception of ProQuest.
Right,
The ProQuest materials are the most notable absence.
right.
Which
yeah.
is why now that we're back on the front page again, and what's your name here? 'Cause you-
Isaac.
Isaac has been pointing out, on this side here, other results from, these are widgets that they've built for us so we can get into the ProQuest databases. Particularly for our doctoral and master's students, they might want to see what's available in the theses and dissertations. Right now, we're getting PsycInfo and Psych articles through ProQuest, And those are pretty important for education psychology in the education field, plus for our psychology field, plus for probably every area across campus needs to do some testing and whatnot that might involve psychology. So that's why we put those up. But there are some other databases that you will just simply have to search, particularly if you know it's from ProQuest, that you'll have to go out and search on their own. Now, ProQuest also has a general search that searches all the ProQuest databases almost, and they're trying to work everything in there. So now eBrary can be searched in the ProQuest general search. But again, that's why I guess you guys still need the librarians. When they make that search box work for everything, they may phase us out, but I don't think that's coming in a long time. And we will try to make it as simple as we can for you, but we need your input so we can do that.
Yeah. Isaac, what are you researching? What's your area?
Early childhood mental health consultation and Head Start programs.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Early childhood mental health consultation will do though.
I think some of these might.
Yeah, that would serve helpful.
Would that be those
Mental health
3B1?
consultation should be something that is grouped together.
Okay. So let's try that. And like I said at the very beginning, EDS will search the terms that you enter as if there's an and between them. So this, when I run it, is going to search it as if I have early childhood education and mental health consultation.
If you put the and, it won't mess anything up.
No.
Okay.
And you can actually change the search to do it that way if that's like less confusing for you. So of course you're getting everything. Wow, there might be something buggy with these because we're not getting any results on this either.
When I did the search, I got something a little bit better than that.
Okay.
I'll show you what I got.
Did you search using natural language search like that, or did you use the advanced search in the various options?
I just searched early mental health consultation. I did
Default
truncate,
things.
and then I got mostly everything that I've already either gotten or submitted through Iliad.
Did you unclick the box for available in library collection?
No.
Yeah. Let's see. Because again, unclicking that box will give you stuff outside of what we have available, but stuff that we could get for you from other libraries.
That's odd. I must not like.
This is a strange search. Let's try an advanced one with this since we have a
And that
bunch of
was one
stuff.
thing I wanted to mention to you, Isaac. You mentioned the advanced search tools that you can use, like the truncation.
Mm-hmm.
But when they talk about advanced search, there is an advanced search that helps you put them together. See how, Kelly, it gives you an easier way to put things into, and make sure you want the ands there, so your Boolean operators are there. You can also select a field if you wanted it to be in a subject field as opposed to that. This section here is a beta release that they gave us early, but you could then limit to particular disciplines.
Right. So you could do an education. I'm going to do it without first just to see what is completely out there. Let's do Boolean.
There you go.
Okay. So those results look a little bit better. Of course, it's a lot less than the first search we did. So I think the first search we did with the keywords with everything in one line was maybe it wasn't reading it right. But this looks more accurate to what you're looking for. And again, you can unclick that available in library collection and it'll give you more results. So that kind of doubled it. Let's try this again. Yeah, I think maybe this doesn't work right yet.
Did you use any of the backs? Did you use any of the back arrows as opposed to going back to the result list?
I might have.
That might be the problem, because I noticed when I was doing it the other day, and honestly, this is so new that we're still learning how to use it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
input from you becomes very important.
I like to say this is working. The ProQuest dissertations and theses are working excellent for me because I'm getting everything here that was not included within the same field and
Okay.
a large number of results.
Okay, so maybe it was that I did the back
Yeah.
button and that just Yeah.
And again, they're putting widgets and whatnot in on this screen, so we've always told people to use the internal navigation to the database, which would be return to result list or whatever, rather than the navigation from the browser.
So, and in this case, you have, I mean, 120 or 251 now is really not bad for what you're doing probably, but if you wanted to, you know, further refine, did you play with any of the subject headings down here?
Yes.
Okay. Because you get a list of,
Yeah, same results I've been getting, but very organized.
yeah.
And that's what this is. It's a discovery service, so it may give you additional ideas because it's looking at so many more databases. So it's giving you additional subject headings and whatnot to look at, so you can discover, maybe you could take that over to ProQuest and use some of those things to see if there's more that comes up.
Yeah. One of the things that I like to do with this tool is if I, for some reason, have a particular article that I want, that I didn't find through an article database, maybe I just was reading a book and saw a citation, there's this article that I want. If you type in, of course I don't have one right now, but let's say we were looking for this article. Let's say that's the one that I wanted. If I have the title, I can put it in quotes and search for it. And if we have some type of record for it, it should just bring it up right away. So of course there's like a bunch of different articles on this, but so if that was the one that I wanted, then I can go into it and, oh, why doesn't it have that? Why doesn't it have a 360 link?
Is the full text there?
It's probably not. This looks like something I requested.
Okay, and
That's a
again-
strange one.
Again, I'm wondering if that link to 360 full text isn't impacted by the fact that you may have used the back button in the
Shucks.
browser instead. So that's a good thing to remember. Try the new search and do it again and see if we get better results. And if that doesn't work, you may have to go out and come back.
Oh, what
in.
was it? Early childhood mental health consultation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you might have to go out because it seems like
This is just
the,
this is too common of a phrase for this example, but typically if you have an article, and a lot of these, you know, with these types of articles, the name is very long, so if you have even the first part of it, in most cases you can just sort of type in the part of the title and do a search for it, and it will bring back the article you're looking for. Yeah, this has 2 records for it. So what I like about that is that if you type in that title in quotes and it brings you back a record for it, then you have the PDF right there. So it kind of like eliminates some steps rather than looking up the journal and seeing if we have holdings for it and then going into the database that has the full text. This kind of makes it a little bit easier. I'll sign in so you guys can see what it looks like. So this will show me the different folders that I have down here. See, it gives you the option to share. So if you want to send a bunch of articles that you found to somebody else, that's kind of helpful. You can save, and I think in this case, then you can save books that you found in the catalog as well then. Yeah, so you can really save all of your content. So all of the research that you're doing for one project, you can put in one place. Is there anything else fun up here?
Now,
So-
in the listing here, the EBSCO Discovery Service right now appears first
Yes.
in the database listing. Do you think that will continue?
yes,
It'll always be first, so I
Yes.
don't have to remember what it's called?
no.
Well, what we're hoping is that eventually we'll be able to put it on the home page. No, not that home page.
We're in the
Scroll down
lab.
the line.
That one.
Should be
So
below libraries and right above
It's just that
Yeah.
sometimes I'm going, oh gosh, what's that called?
Yeah. So we hope that eventually we can put it, somewhere up here so you just have one search box that you can enter what you're looking for, and then it'll take you into that to EDS. So that makes it easier, then you don't have to remember what it's called even.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the article databases, because again, EBSCO, EDS, the service doesn't have everything.
Yeah, and there are certain situations where you probably want to just search like individual databases at a time. It really depends on the situation, but sometimes it might be better for you to go into article databases and select, whatever subject you're searching in, and then pick database by database.
I wonder if I could ask a related but non-related question, if that's okay?
That's for here for.
In EBSCO Host, when you have the prompt to click on a database, there, it says Medline, and then there's another one for Medline with full text. And barring the obvious that one gives full text and one doesn't,
That's the only difference.
so the click on Medline actually will give me more citations than Medline with full text.
No, you should get the same, geez, I don't know. I would suspect that you would get the same citations, but the Medline without the full text may not give you the links to the full text. I don't know, I have never tested that.
It's very confusing to me
Usually,
and my students.
It looks like
what
this
I would do
description.
is put that Medline at the very bottom, the Medline by itself, because you should be telling your students to use the one with full text. There's no difference. The only difference that there might be would be that the Medline without the full text may not give you the links out to the full text, but it should in EBSCO anyway. Medline is
Medline with full text gives me all the citations that the Medline gives me, but in addition, it gives links to full text.
well, do a quick search.
I think what it might be is that Medline with full text might just restrict it to the journals that they have full text access
See,
through.
that's what I don't want.
Does that, because the descriptions are slightly different and there's less journals listed under full text versus the regular Medline.
Yeah, but that's just the full text numbers. What
Right.
does it say under Medline?
Let's see.
Because
Let's
I tell
do-
my students, I don't care if it has full text available to you on the computer or not.
Do the
No,
same
no,
search in
really.
Medline. Just do Medline first.
Because when I ask the
Well, you
librarian,
have to take off academic search complete.
when I
Ash.
ask other librarians, they tell me there's no difference, and I'm kind of frustrated about this.
Good search?
What should I search?
We're
We'll
looking
try
at-
vitamin A and review.
Let's do this.
I just want to see if there's any full text in here. Yeah, the full
Yeah.
text is in there anyway. Honestly, I think they're the very same thing. Now, how many hits did we get on this search? Okay, now
27,
let's close
25.
it. And this is something you can show your students if you would want to. Now just put in the Medline and do the same search. I believe I asked the question, and I thought they said there was no difference.
Yeah, looks like
There's
it's
no
the same.
difference. Normally what I do, and I know I changed the alphabetization, but this time Medline is up there, and I think CINAHL is up there. We have a CINAHL and a CINAHL full text. But really, you're getting everything because of the way EBSCO links, and they're both EBSCO databases. I can remove them, probably. You prefer them to be removed?
No,
I'll put them at the bottom so people don't run into it, because when that list comes
so if
up.
they're identical, it doesn't matter which one they choose. Just, I think you can see my confusion, and the student says, well, which one should I pick?
Yeah, that is
At least I'm always
confusing.
consistent, and I always say the same one.
Well,
This
you
is-
said that you would actually encounter different amounts of results, right?
Me?
Yeah,
No,
it's
I don't,
okay.
I don't think I said that. If I did, I recuse myself.
I think from EBSCO's point of view, the reason they give us both of those is Medline is probably free because it's a public database. Medline with full text, we pay for, and that's why we have those two in there. It's a matter of money as opposed to differences in searches. But I will move those down because I don't know how they got, I know how they got up there, I just wasn't thinking, and I said alphabetize. So I need to do that again, but I will pull those to the bottom so your students don't see those too.
Well,
Did you have a question that looked like you were trying?
Oh, I looked up a history subject and I found 55,000 dissertations on this particular subject from ProQuest, so.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yes,
it did
that's
work for you.
working.
Okay, good. That's good.
I think what's happening, like I said, Kelly, if you use the back button, it broke that connector. So in order for it to work again, and for all of you listen, if you're not getting hits on that side in the subject areas where you should, Kelly was right. The first time we did it, she had academic journals. There are no academic journals in ProQuest digital dissertations. But if it's not working when there should be titles in the dissertations, go back out the whole way, close the whole thing down, and then go to our database page or the front page and click on it again, because that should reset the whole thing.
Yeah. In fact, let me do that.
And they have always warned us about that, and watch, it won't work now.
Oh, the nice thing too about EDS, EBSCO databases are mobile compatible, so if you use this on a tablet or your phone, it'll be a lot easier to use than our catalog per se might be on your phone or your tablet, so that's something to keep in mind also.
And that change just came this summer, and they have particular servers that know what you're coming in from, so if you're coming in off your phone, they know to send you the mobile orientation as opposed to what you get on a computer.
Yeah.
So that's really new.
Yeah. So what was the search topic that you were looking for?
Well, I was doing American Colonization Society.
Colonization. Would that be American colonization and society?
No.
Or just
it's
one
all
thing?
thing.
Okay. Ah! So as a phrase.
Yes.
Did you unclick this guy? This available in library collection? You said you had a lot of results, didn't you?
Yeah, 55,000.
How come mine are less?
I don't know.
Oh, did you do the as a phrase, or did you just search them without the
You
phrase?
know what? I think I did it. It didn't come up under advanced search. I did it in the general search.
And did you use quotations?
No, I did not.
Okay, that's what it is.
Because it's anding all those words together.
Yeah, and if so, I imagine that American Colonization Society is a society, so if that's like the name of them, yeah, then you probably do want to use those quotes around it to make sure that you're getting results for that group, because otherwise it's searching American and colonization and society, so it's bringing you back anything that mentions those words somewhere in the record. So rather than having those like 15,000 results or whatever it was, now you have the 520. And if you want more, then you can check to see what might be beyond our collection.
But I was talking about the ProQuest side.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Now, see, I'm still not seeing it over here, and I did exit and go back
Yeah.
in.
Take the quotes out. You'll get it.
You think that's what it is?
I just tried it.
Why?
Yeah, but
See, I
that's
think
not
that's a
coming
buggy
from
thing
us.
then.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you go up to tools, Kelly,
Huh.
this was something they just told me. See on the top where it says tools next to the question mark on the line that has favorites in it, way up above?
What?
See
What?
tools?
What? 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 What?
Right
This?
there. Yeah, pull that down. And do compatibility view. Click on that. And they came back. So that's the other way to fix it.
So if I do quotes now,
That
do you
was a
think it'll
browser
work?
issue. It was a browser issue, because see, the ProQuest things are back again.
But the quotes weren't on it. Oh, no.
No,
See, it doesn't like the
quotes
quotations.
properly.
Yeah.
Ah,
But you know what?
Could be though, just because of the way the connector works.
yep.
Let me look at this, because you can. No, I don't think it gives you a workaround for that. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but there is, if you go under advanced search, at the very, very bottom of this page, there's this box where you can check to search only our catalog. So if you want to use this search tool to search just our catalog, you can do that and just limit the results to what we have. So books, DVDs, some things that wouldn't be in the article databases.